Hey everyone, and welcome to a special Flying Solo webcast supported by Amazon Launchpad. I'm Cess Busby, editor of Kochie's Business Builders, and today we're coming to you live from one of Australia's most sustainable business precincts, International Towers here at Barangaroo. Now, before we get started, I'd like to make a quick moment to honour the Gadigal people of the Aurora Nation and their elders past and present, whose land we meet on here today. Now, today marks Earth Day 2021. It's a global initiative where world leaders, businesses and individuals look at solutions to restore our Earth and make a positive change for our climate. If you have a sustainable business idea that you want to turn into a reality, or you want to take your green business to the next level, apply for an Amazon Launchpad Innovation Grant. Winners will receive a package of more than $200,000, including cash grants, advertising support, Amazon.com marketing placements, and so much more. Applications close on May 10, and we'll pop a link up on this page with all of the details so that you can apply. Now, without further ado, I have three exciting Australian small business owners here with me today that have turned sustainability into success. Joining me live in the studio is Julia Kay from Great Wrap, Suthan Naga, who's down the end from Nikki's Natural Wipes, and there in the middle we've got Ricky Gibley from WAW. Now, a warm welcome to you all. Julia, I think we'll start with you. Great. So the question that I've got for you today is your business, Great Wrap. It's one of the only Australian-made compostable and biodegradable cling wraps. So can you tell me how you came to this journey? What made you come up with the business idea?
Sure. Well, I was working in architecture and I was spending a lot of time looking at materials that I would put into the buildings I was designing. And my husband, who I started the business with, was working in wine and he was using a lot of pallet wrap. But I'd be on site and I'd see these really sustainable materials arrive wrapped in this petroleum-based plastic. Oh. And it was heartbreaking because you'd spend time looking at the timber and figuring it all out, and then that would happen. And we were just talking one day and we decided that we should probably look into it. And that's when we realised that there was a lot of technology in this space that hadn't sort of been connected to the packaging industry, and basically the packaging industry had been asleep at the wheel for a lot of time. So we thought maybe we should start and give it a try, and now we manufacture it ourselves on the Mornington Peninsula.
Awesome. That's Thanks. So awesome.
Thank you.
And you don't think about that with your wine or whatever, it's all in this beautiful packaging, but then it's got to go on the pallets, doesn't it?
Totally.
It's got to be kept all safe.
Yeah, it's wild.
And Suthan, what about you? Your Nikki's Natural Wipes, they're the world's first 100% natural baby wipes. You use coconut oil because it's great for sensitive skin. What took you down your path? I'm imagining maybe you're a dad. There might have been a bit of a personal story there.
Spot on, yeah. I became a dad 2.5 years ago, and my son got sick. And then me and my wife looked at why he was getting sick, and the products that we're using was having a reaction to it, so he has to be hospitalized. And from that moment on, we said, okay, let's step back and see what we can do. And then we just looked at what was in the ingredients and looked at what was in the market, and then decided to make wipes at home using manuka honey and coconut oil as the original core ingredients, and build it from there. So our cloth is also made from wood pulp, so it is biodegradable, and we're now testing it to be compostable as well.
Oh, that's so awesome, because that's literally, I can't imagine the landfill from baby wipes. That's just such a terrible product, but so useful.
100%, yeah.
So it's so great that you've come up with a solution. And what about you, Ricky? I see in your hand there you've got
it's a body surfing hand plane. So I got into business because I fell in love with body surfing. Yeah. As a surfer, I loved surfing, and I got invited to go on one particular session where it was actually a body surfing session only. So getting into the ocean with a pair of fins and a hand plane only, I was pretty skeptical, went in with low expectations, and left that session with a smile that just lasted for days. Just the buzz that I got from the purity and simplicity of body surfing was incredible. And going home, I tried to search for some high-end equipment that I wanted to purchase. I wanted to pursue this hobby in body surfing, and I couldn't find anything in Australia. And so that little burning desire of mine to start a business and to become an entrepreneur finally had some fuel, and I started War Hand Planes and made body surfing hand planes.
Yeah, awesome. I'm a surfer, so I'd like to see that extended even further. Any plans for expansion?
There's always plans for expansion, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And the two of you, Julia and and Suzanne, your products are more household, cling wrap, nappy wipes. Can you tell me how has the public been in terms of getting on board with your brands, and have you had to do anything in particular to make them aware of your sustainable products and why they're so much better for the planet and just in general?
Yeah, I mean, we sort of launched with our product for home, which was a way of introducing, I guess, your at-home user to the idea of a compostable product. Yeah. And we found that a lot of our customers started then to look to the businesses that they were buying things from and interrogating the pallet wrap side of things more. So that really helped us to build out the demand from both at-home users and businesses as well. So I think that was a really nice exercise because it's actually become a bit of an educational piece now rather than, just, a home consumer sector and a business sector. So I think that was a good strategy for us. Yeah,
and what about you, Suzanne? Was there anything that you had to specifically go out to market with to say this is what sets us apart, or it basically was, hey, we're 100% natural?
No, 100% natural was what set us apart, but the key aspect for us was slightly different. It was not so about the environment, more about safety for the kids. Yeah. And supporting their health overall and make sure they have no irritation and stuff. So using natural ingredients, but the whole process of manufacturing to be natural as well. So there's no foreign chemicals. And adding the wood pulp cloth, so kind of just helps with that. So to make sure that we are biodegradable and compostable, all those ingredients just kind of grew with that. As people started to use it, they were asking more questions about, are we compostable? Are we biodegradable? Are we this? So it was just over time, people are asking them more questions. The first question was, are you safe? And then it moved on to what are the ingredients, and then if the product's environmentally friendly, essentially.
Yeah. And Ricky, what about you? I mean, with Julia and Suzanne, it's obviously a much broader market, but with you, body surfing's a bit more niche. Was there anything that you had to do to really convince the surfing community or the body surfing community that, hey, give this a try? Was there skepticism? Or?
Well, I think the surfing community in general, they love what they do, they love the ocean. So for us to create a product that was to be used back in the ocean for surfing, it had to be something that cared for that environment. I don't see the point in creating something that would negatively impact the thing that you love the most, Yeah. So I think the surfing community were readily accepting of something that was only going to help the oceans and clean them of plastic.
Yeah. And back to that, not wanting to put anything into the environment that's not good for it. Your product, Suzanne, natural wood pulp, was that always the plan? How did you come to this journey where natural wood pulp was the way to go?
It wasn't the plan, really. It was just basically the core plan was having natural ingredients. And as we researched and developed the product, we found out, okay, look, we need to step back because we found some of the cloth had plastic and had other chemicals in the process. So we said, okay, we had to go back even further. And then from that research, we found out that, yes, we need to work on the cloth being natural and made from natural materials to be more environment friendly, but as well as safe for sensitive skin as well. So that was a key aspect. But also, it's just more education to myself in that industry, because it's something new and trying to learn at the same time and evolving as a business. We want to do right by our kids for the future of the planet, but also right by the product and trying to get that right balance to make it work.
Yeah. And you talk about the education piece. I guess as well, the marketing of the product plays a really big role in that education piece. So for you, Julia, plastic wrap's got to be one of the worst things people can think of. So what was the marketing piece for you? What was the education piece getting out there with your alternative?
Yeah, I think I guess we wanted it to make it really easy to feel like you could make a change. So I think in the product that we provide, you don't have to change your habits, but you're sort of signing up for this journey. I think with Great Wrap, we're making stretch wrap now, but the vision is to create more products that sometimes we can't find alternatives for. So I guess it was sort of communicating that in the way that, you can still behave the way that you do, but it can be compostable and made from food waste and a good experience and good for the planet as well.
Yeah. And I guess also there's this misconception that to be eco-friendly and be sustainable it's going to cost you business money. So I'd really like to get all of your opinions on that. Like, did it cost you more? Was it, and is it going to cost us more to be sustainable and eco-friendly? If I could maybe start with you, Sita.
To start off with, it did cost more because we had to do extra further research to analyze or test what was environment friendly, what we can use, what we can't use. But after we narrowed that down, like our packaging is 50% recycled cardboard and made 100% recycled cardboard. So it's just working out the individual steps to see if it's feasible. And after you made that choice, then it was not that expensive, right? It was exactly the same as if we were going to produce it in a non-recycled cardboard or in that way. So it's more about the research at the start point, investing into that was the expensive part. But after that's been done, the costing is the same as if you were going to do a normal, for me anyway. Might be different for everybody else, but that was it for us.
Yeah, is that a similar story for the two of you?
Yeah, I think it definitely cost a little bit more to start with to choose sustainable alternatives at every step. But I think when you come to create a sustainable business, it's not just about a personal choice anymore. I think it actually makes a good business sense to be sustainable and make sustainable choices. In our current market, you can't really just make something that works anymore. You've got to make something that works and has a positive impact. Yeah. I think our consumers are demanding that. They can see that. I know I do when I shop for stuff. I look for things that are going to make a positive impact. I want to create a better world for future generations and for my kids, and that means being responsible at every step. And as I said, it makes great business sense. So although you may spend a tiny bit more at the beginning to choose those sustainable alternatives, it will come back to you in the end tenfold.
Yeah, and obviously all your products are sustainable. And you've already touched on it, like the whole journey is sustainable for you, the packaging and how you get it out to your consumers. Mm-hmm. Is that something all three of you intentionally have put a lot of thought into, so that from the minute you create it to the moment it leaves your door, it's green, green, green all the way?
Yeah, 100%. I was just having this discussion with Suthan actually. Our first iteration of box for our cling wrap, we had used a bamboo cutter because bamboo sequests 30% more carbon than a tree. So we thought we'd try and make a cutter that had that sort of ability behind it. Anyway, it turned out it wasn't as good in terms of functionality. So we've had to go down that journey of like trying that. But our boxes are made in Australia from 100% recycled cardboard, and definitely something we spend probably too much time looking into, but we definitely see that as an investment in the future of the business, I think.
Yeah. Is it difficult to also find, there's a lot of talk about consumers are really wanting businesses to be mindful in terms of delivery processes. Is it difficult to find a delivery partner that it also has sustainable practices?
I think so. I mean, in our perfect world, we've talked about one day having a beautiful fleet of electric vehicles that we could deliver Great Wrap in. So that's definitely something that's on the journey for us to change. I don't know about you guys and how you go about it.
I think with our item, it's quite difficult logistically. Yeah, just because we do a lot of direct to consumer and our packages are quite small, and so they do need to be shipped and moved around in like individual quantities, which adds up.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think it's spot on that what we're trying to do, the thought of being a father and having a planet safe for our kids is everything we're building out for now and for the future to be environmentally safe and managing that process. So what we're looking to do is also put in, with my IT background, put in blockchain and logistics to manage that carbon footprint. So we can forecast or predict how much we're putting or damaging the environment, knowing that we can't be 100% safe because we have to use logistics, we have to use petrol cars to deliver the products. So, but we can now calculate and analyze what we're doing and look to make those small changes, which will be a bigger impact over a longer period of time.
Yeah. And finally, I guess what I really would like to know from all three of you, starting with you, Julia, is the best advice that you would give to other business owners that are just kind of feeling their way on that sustainable journey, how they can start making improvements to reduce, reuse, recycle to help restore the planet?
It's a big one.
Big question, give me all the answers.
Yeah, I think what helped me the most, I think at the start of my sort of journey into this space, I felt very overwhelmed because there is a lot of information and you do feel that sort of eco-anxiety around like, I can't do anything. But I think if you just, set a goal and then go right back to the start and bite off a small chunk. I mean, that's what we've done with home cling wrap. It's a small part of plastic waste that we can target. And I just recommend doing that. And then the steps sort of unlock. As you know more and understand more, it becomes a lot easier.
Would you agree it's a step-by-step kind of approach?
Yeah, definitely. Like, I think if you're going to start a business, start out with the foundation of sustainability, because when you're starting it, you go through every single aspect of the company and the business and how it's going to operate, and you can make sustainable choices at every different step. But I think the biggest advice that I would give is to be genuine. Genuinely, if you are going to market yourself as being a sustainable company, be genuine. Consumers can see through greenwash these days, so if you're going to do something good, do it well, and don't be afraid to talk about it. Tell the consumers what you're doing. If you're doing great work in packaging, behind the scenes, let them know. Like, consumers want to be supporting brands that are doing great stuff. So yeah, be genuine and don't be afraid to talk about it.
Yes, transparency. I think when we first started the business, it's always a hard obstacle. It's never easy, but be passionate about what you're doing. If you're passionate about it, when you get a roadblock or when someone says, don't do this, it's going to be 50 cents, 1 cent more expensive compared to that route, it's already been done. But just be passionate about it and stick to your core values, and eventually it'll come through. Every roadblock that comes on was always prepared to face it and come across it or get over it, because we knew what we wanted the end product to be, or what we wanted to be as a company. And like Ricky said, the transparency. And one thing about Nikki's is that we are fully transparent. We provide all the ingredients, all the manufacturing process to show it. And that's a key aspect, because more companies nowadays is say one thing and then deliver another.
Yeah, I guess you touched on it as well, the greenwashing. There is so much greenwashing out there. So it is that transparency and being really honest with your customers about what you do and how you do it is so important. And it's obvious that you guys are all really purpose-driven and passionate about this subject. So it's awesome to see. Now, unfortunately, that's all that we have time for today. Thank you so much to all of our expert panellists, Julie Kay from Great Wrap, Sufan Naga from Nikki's Natural Wipes, and here we've got Ricky Ghibli from War. And they make awesome products, all of them, and I'd like to really give a big thank you to all of them, and all of you have joined us here today, and to hear more great stories about and expert advice about sustainable businesses. Be sure to tune back into Flying Solo and our website and apply for an Amazon Launchpad Innovation Grant for your business there. See you next time.